Pokémon are terrifying creatures, but not as terrifying as humans. We'll get this plot twist out of the way right now. Humans are the real monsters because we invented Pokeballs, which can brainwash and enslave Pokémon, forcing them to fight their former friends and family. Technology is despicable. I don't want to use these things, but I do want to go home, so we're gonna have to compromise. How many Pokeballs does it take to beat Pokémon Legends Arceus? We'll be running through the entire game, so be warned, there will be spoilers. We'll start by customizing our character, and I don't know why people say the options are lacking. This one looks just like me. A few seconds into the gameplay, and I can already tell we're gonna be in for a visual treat. They can't even animate picking up objects in a game about collecting things! Did you know that Hisui means jade in Japanese? That's pretty fitting, because this whole run made me real jaded. This game has so many cut corners, it's rounder than Hisuian Electrode. We should probably define what using a Pokeball means. To me, whenever we throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon with intent to capture it, that counts. Cutscenes included. Professor Laventon here wastes no time stuffing our pockets with 50 Pokeballs and insisting that we capture his 3 wayward Pokemon. Well, I don't want your demon capsules, old chap. You can have them back. Oh, you'd rather I not throw these at you? How do you think the Pokemon feel, huh? I return all 50 Pokeballs to the earth that bore them. But you can't continue the game until you round up the starters, so we'll have to play along for now. The first 2 starters you catch will come along quietly, but the third one will always break out of its Pokeball. It doesn't even wiggle, it just breaks free instantly. Isn't that kinda weird? Whatever. We've already spent 4 Pokeballs to sentence 3 Pokemon to a lifetime of servitude. And we only get 1 for our main playthrough. What a terrible deal. We're then welcomed to our new home for this run, Jubilife Alley. It's officially Jubilife Village, but 80% of it is empty. I guess it's better to have everything nice and compact rather than spread out. We finally get to pick our companion of choice. Any of the 3 will work, and although Rowlet is by far the worst for normal gameplay, he makes this run a bit less grindy, so Wowlet, I choose you. On our way to our first expedition, we're challenged by very normal and trustworthy merchant, Volo. I know this is a tutorial, but since our only option is to attack repeatedly, I don't think it's even possible to lose. If you can figure out how, tell me in the comments. Also, check out that tackle animation. Socially distanced, so responsible. Out in the Obsidian Fieldlands, our trial is to catch 1 each of Bidoof, Starly, and Shinx. Each one is a static spawn, and we can't leave the area until we catch them in succession, so there's no Weaviling our way out of this one. For Starly and Shinx, this isn't a big deal since any old Starly or Shinx will do, but the static Bidoof is normal size, which means we miss out on 1 potential research task compared to if we are allowed to hunt for a Chonker. It costs us 3 Pokeballs to add 3 new members to our team. Deluxray the Shinx, Starizard the Starly, and Habibarel the Bidoof. If you're confused by Bidoof's name, I don't blame you. Habibi is the Arabic word for baby, and if you write an Arabic song without at least 1 Habibi per verse, you will be put to the swords dance, so be careful. Now dressed in our snazzy Galaxy uniform, we're forced to sully our hands by crafting one of these infernal Pokeballs ourselves. But only 1. You'll pay for forcing our hand here, Akari. Back out in the Fieldlands, Akari shows us how to Dark Souls it up, and now we're left to our own devices with the goal of reaching 500 research points to earn our first star. Let's talk about how research points work, since those will be what gates our progression in this run. Each task you complete grants 10 research points and 1 research level. If there's a red arrow next to the tasks, they're worth double, 20 research points and 2 research levels. Once you reach research level 10 for a species, you're given an additional bonus of 100 research points. You can complete tasks for Pokemon you haven't caught, but you only get credit for Pokemon you've actually captured, which is why this run is even a thing. I'm sure there's an optimal way to speedrun to 500 points, but I'm an MMORPG gamer. I'll gladly grind all day, every day. This'll probably get us enough points. Yeah, looks like it. And I didn't even do all the final evolution tasks. What a casual. Little did I know that by evolving Bidoof early, I'd already made a critical error. More on that later, if there even is a later. There is, look at the video length. The next day begins with Akari challenging us to a Pokemon battle. Akari, Habibi, you're making a big mistake. Oh, Volo, you scared me. You sure your name isn't Volomore? You sure are spooky. Anyway, thanks for the friendly advice. We're allowed past the bridge checkpoint where we're challenged by Warden Mai and her Munchlax. Munchlax actually has insane stats for a baby Pokemon. It's stronger than many fully evolved Pokemon. Not strong enough, obviously. Should've eaten more potato mochi, buddy. We make our way atop the Deer Track Heights where we face our first boss. Do you hear that? That sound. The cloying melody of terror itself. Concert's cancelled. When we report our victory to the professor, we're somehow back at 0 stars? Even though we had to be 1 star to even reach this part of the game. Legendary bugs? Speaking of legendary bugs, it looks like our next mission is to quell Kleavor, the Lord of the Forest. You might be wondering how side quests affect the run, so here's how. They don't. 90% of side quests in this game are completely useless. I'll save you some time. Hey, I heard this Pokemon does this thing. Is it true? Oh, it is true. Or, oh, it's not true. Here's some junk you could have found on your own. Thanks. If you're extra lucky, you might be given a glimpse of Game Freak's cinematic expertise. Here's a sample. The 10% of side quests that are useful actually result in new base camps or, of particular interest to us, complete research tasks. Because our Bidoof isn't American, we're actually capped at research level 9 unless we complete its side quest, Bothersome Bidoof, where you have to corral 3 Bidoof that have infiltrated the village. I remembered this quest existed, but not that you actually needed a Bidoof on your team to complete it. Bibarel will not work. Because of this, I miss out on 20 points from the research task itself, as well as 100 points for research level 10, which means a total of 120 unobtainable research points for this run. Does this actually matter? You'll have to keep watching to find out. No, it doesn't. Upon reaching Grand Tree Arena, Hisuian Clay here tries to stop us with his Goomy. Tries. We're also reset to 0 stars again, even though we're actually 2 stars by this point. What a great game. Back at the lab, Laventon has the brilliant idea to calm the nobles by pelting them with their favorite foods. I have no idea how this works. I mean, I like pasta, but if you chucked some noodles at me, I don't think I'd be too happy about it. On our way back to Grand Tree Arena, we're given our first ride Pokemon, Weirdeer. Hey, that's the jingle from the Gen 4 title screen. After galloping over to Kleavor's domain, Irida decides to prove her bond with Glaceon by letting it get absolutely destroyed. It was a real close battle. Get it? Because we one-shot her, and because we used close combat, which became a ranged attack somehow. Whatever. We're treated to one of the only actual cutscenes in the game, and one they must have been real proud of because it was in every trailer ever. It's finally time to face off against Kleavor, Lord of the Woods. I'm sure this will be a rough battle. What, did you expect me to cut the footage of me one-shotting it? You didn't even realize it, but I've been training you to expect that. YouTubers are terrifying creatures. Don't let the spores touch you. Nah, we're a Dark Souls gamer. I want to quell the nobles with my own 2 hands. Once it comes to its senses, Kleavor rewards us with the Rock Plate. What? Oh, he actually gives us the Insect Plate. So who gives us the Rock Plate? A random Vespiquen by a lake in the postgame. Oh, it's not like there were 3 Rock-type nobles or anything. Whatever. As thanks for calming a precious lord of her clan, Irida has a gift for us. Adamant gave us a legendary flute for squishing an overgrown cricket, so this has gotta be good, right? Very generous of you. Our next assignment will be in the Crimson Mirelands, only accessible to 2-star members like myself. But before we can depart, Akari challenges us to another battle. Habibi, you're making a big mistake. In the Celestian Ruins, definitely a good guy Volo challenges us to another battle. You can decline, but he won't take no for an answer, so why did he even ask? Immediately after, we're tasked with retrieving a wall fragment from the Misfortune Sisters. The one we actually battle is Coin. Heads I win, tails you lose. You've got no chance in this game of fortunes. Hey, that's a cool line. No luck, all skill, baby. Time to soothe Ursaluna. A mighty Pokemon like Ursaluna won't be easy to take down. Hey, it actually survived. I don't know whether to insult Decidueye or praise Ursaluna. Look at these stats! It's basically just better Snorlax. They're even both bears. Snorlax is a bear, right? We're then given the ability to call Ursaluna as an ally. Hey, that's the jingle from the Gen 4 title screen. With Ursaluna's help, actually nothing changes. You can beat the game without ever using Ursaluna, assuming you know where to go. We're off to the Lady of the Ridge, Lilligant. What are you so happy about? The best signature move in the game? Yeah, I'd probably be dancing too. A bit of DDR souls later and we can add both the Meadow Plate and another satisfied noble to our list of accomplishments. The next mission will take us to the Cobalt Coastlands, which has a star requirement of 3. You can actually reach the research point quota with your mandatory catches, but you've got to be a real MMO gamer. This took hours of grinding each final form to near completion, which just barely gets us there. Breathe in that salty sea air. Irida is here to welcome us as we gladly welcome Glaceon to the Shadow Realm. Warden Polina tells us that to reach Firespit Island, we'll need the help of Warden Iskin, who can help us sway Hisuian Basculegion to our side. Warden Iskin tells us that preparing Basculegion's favorite snack requires a Dark Pulse from Dusclops. I don't understand why, since neither Dusclops nor Basculegion are dark types. They're actually weak to dark. Why doesn't it take, say, a Shadow Ball from Dusclops? Wouldn't a stab move be more flavorful? Hey, it's our first catch since the tutorial missions. Dusclops is needed to prepare the bait, but you can actually catch a Duskull in this premium Great Ball, fill out all of its research tasks, then evolve it up to a Dusclops to progress the story, before finally getting the tasks for its final form, LA Dusk Noir. See, because LA Noir, and Legends Arceus is also LA? It's a good name, guys. Back at Iskin's hut, we get cookin'. Hey, didn't I catch us in a Great Ball? Whatever. With bait in hand, we can earn Basculegion's trust. Hey, that's the jingle from the Gen 4 title. They're all the same, aren't they? Imagine if every time Sheik interrupted you in Ocarina of Time, she just taught you the exact same song and you had to pretend otherwise. Yeah, this is totally the Bolero of Fire. Believe me, just use your imagination, bro. Alright, peace. It might be that the ride Pokemon are learning how we in particular play the flute, but that's dumb. Come on, give us different melodies. Suddenly, the Misfortune Sisters ambush us and kidnap Growlithe. How did they do that? No, really, how did they do that? Too much work to show us, I guess. We're off to Firespit Island, and let me say now that the best part of this challenge is not having to catch Pokemon in the water. It's hard to describe if you haven't played the game, but the controls on Basculegion are slippery. You can't sneak properly, and the bullet time when double jumping doesn't preserve momentum properly, so your Pokeballs just fly past your target. It's awful. At the heart of Firespit Island, it's time for a showdown with these scumbags. We have to fight 3 consecutive battles, which sounds a lot more impressive than spending 4 turns to one-shot 4 Pokemon, which is what we actually do. Growlithe, disgusted by the N64 lava textures, evolves into Arcanine and also flies into a frenzy. Can you blame him? It's dangerous to be so close to a rampaging noble, so we flee to about 5 feet away. Seriously, we didn't go anywhere! Luckily, Iskin has the ingredients with him to craft bombs, saving us a fetch quest and allowing us to begin the next Dark Souls encounter against Hisuian Tony the Tiger. Serious question here, how do you stop this attack if he starts charging it from across the firewall? Do you have to just arc the bombs upwards so they still hit him? I don't think it's possible to roll through the fire without taking damage. I mean, it doesn't matter, we win anyway. As thanks, Arcanine gives us the Flame Plate. At least I think he does, we don't actually hold it. Some plates we do, some we don't. Is it too much work to palette swap the plates? Whatever. When we try to leave, Irida forces us to listen to her sob story. All I did was arrive late and help explain about the bombs. Something you could have done without me. Is that so praiseworthy? Do I deserve to be recognized for such a slight contribution? No, you really don't. Out of the way, please. Back at Galaxy headquarters, we meet this guy, unfortunately. Look, I know everyone hates this guy, and believe me, I do too, but luckily he's not really in the story. To be fair, this game doesn't have much story to be in, but if you've played JRPGs with annoying characters, you know that it could be worse. It could be so much worse. To advance to Coronet Highlands, we need 4 stars, and even if we grind out every single research entry we can, we'll still fall several hundred points short. You know what that means? That's right, it's finally time to actually catch a Pokemon of our choice. Imagine that. But there are so many options. How did I decide? Easy. I made a spreadsheet, baby. Here in Japan, we excel at everything. I know this is a Google Sheet. You think I'm gonna pay for a Microsoft Office sub? We're looking for a 3-stage Pokemon with the most points we can earn in the first 3 zones. And after much painstaking analysis, the Pokemon I chose to capture is...
Geodude, go!
This is actually why I picked Rowlet, because this way I was able to grind the Defeat with Grass moves task before actually getting Dusknoir, who can learn Absorb, lol. The annoying thing is that Geodude and Graveler both have heavy specimen caught tasks, and Golem has an alpha caught, so the easiest way to clear all of those is to catch an alpha Geodude, which has no static spawns. It took me about an hour of hunting to add the Boulder to our team. The Geodude line alone can get us to Coronet Highlands, but as you might have guessed, we'll need more Pokemon to reach Alabaster Icelands, so I picked up another high-value Pokemon.
Captured it just before we entered the cave.
Oh, I should have caught one.
Brock's team, stay winning. Like the Geodude line, there's a task to catch an Alpha Crobat, so when I happened on an Alpha Zubat, I decided to nab it. Since the glowing alpha eyes are actually attached to the eyes, Zubat doesn't have any. I don't know if this is lazy or neat. You know, there's another game that slaps glowing red lights onto a model and hopes for the best. It's called Big Rigs Over the Road Racing. You might have heard of it. The Zubat line has a bizarre task to catch 20 of them during the day, even though Zubat appears mainly at night. I think you're supposed to catch Zubats in caves during the day, but I've never seen one in either of this game's 2 caves, so what you actually do is initiate a battle against a wild Zubat, then just wait. Time will advance, but Zubat won't flee, it'll just sit there flapping away for what must be in-game hours. Such immersion. Anyway, with Adobe a Crobat on our team, we can complete a new side quest. How does Zubat see without eyes? By using Adobe Acrobat's robust suite of view features, of course. Hashtag not sponsored, because boy do I hate Adobe and all subscription models. Except mine, of course. Please sub, join the Discord, like the video, and evolve into a Patreon. Links in the description, thanks! Now that we're 4 stars, we can brave the Coronet Highlands. And you're gonna need to be brave because this is the worst zone in the game. Empty, boring valleys divided by annoying cliffsides. Such world design. But hey, Coronet Highlands. Heavenward Camp. Coerthus Highlands? Heavensward? Is this a coincidence? Yoshi P, do you think you can save this game too? Wayward Cave stands before us, but luckily, Ingo is here to guide us through each twisting corridor. All one of them. Harrowing. Further up the mountain, decides to be annoying. What a shock. He claims Skuntank is silent and deadly. How about silent and dead? A few minutes later, Ingo decides to try his luck at a battle. Hey Ingo, what sound does a train make? Choo choo! We're then given our next ride Pokemon, this Sonic Forces OC. A few more minutes of climbing and we're forced to battle yet again. What's changed in the intervening minutes? Nothing. Hisuian Electrode is our next encounter. I think you're supposed to run from the homing Electroballs and chuck bombs after it stuns itself with explosion, but the Electroballs barely do any damage and are followed by about 15 seconds of raining Voltorbs, during which you can just wail away, so take the hit and skip the cardio. The final area, the frigid Alabaster Icelands, requires us to be a decorated 5-star member, and looking at my current research point tally, we're not gonna get there without one more Pokemon. Specifically, a ride Pokemon. Ride on these nuts! Got him! We are the catcher in the rye. If you're wondering where I got the Ultra Ball I used, I got it from a loot box. If I don't use it, someone else will. I won't allow it. Better that they be caught by my hand than serve as your slaves in-game. I think any 3-stage Pokemon will work, but the Rhyhorn line is worth the most before Alabaster Icelands, and I may as well keep the Pewter Gym theme going. One thing that's a bit annoying about the Pokemon I chose to catch is that 2 of them are trade evolutions. Luckily, you can evolve them by using the link cable or protector items directly on them. But to get those items, you have to buy them using points earned by returning lost satchels. If you're offline, the game spawns fake sock puppet satchels for you to pick up, but in fewer numbers than satchels from actual players who didn't resummon Braviary fast enough. Why am I not playing online despite paying for Nintendo's Garbo online service? Because the service is linked to profiles on your Switch, and I have to play on a different Switch profile because Legends Arceus is a 2022 Switch game that only supports one save file. I guess the technology just isn't there yet. But hey, it's better than Animal Crossing New Horizons system? Eh? One nice thing about this dumb challenge is that it fixes one of my major issues with the game, the inability to sort your boxes. Turns out it's pretty easy to stay organized when you don't actually catch anything. Once we're qualified to enter the Alabaster Icelands, Akari challenges us to another battle. You just don't learn, Habibi. The first thing we do in the Frostlands is set up the second base camp by completing this incredibly lame quest where this guy is looking for his partner. You could have just looked in a mirror, he's an exact clone of you, just kinda sunburned. The actual main story has us meet up with Adaman and Irida at Avalug's Legacy, where we meet a new character, Garrick. He won't shut up about how tough he is and how much he loves training and how rock hard his bod is, so of course he's an ice type specialist who gets walloped because ice ain't nice. To obtain Lord Avalug's favorite frozen snack, we'll need the help of Diamond Warden Sabi and her Braviary. However, she's a rather mischievous one, and we can only watch in awe as she and Braviary soar off into the distance. Riveting. We waste untold hours playing her stupid game of catch-up. It's not like there's a frenzied noble we're supposed to be dealing with. Eventually, we get to meet up with her at the entrance to Snowpoint Temple. I heard what Warden Sabi said. I hope so, bro, you were standing right there. We clear the first Reggie puzzle, and the moment I saw they actually animated the door opening, I knew the puzzle would repeat. There's no way they'd make an animation they couldn't reuse. 5 wasted minutes and 2 door opening animations later, we finally get a chance to lay the smackdown on Sabi in a fun and interactive 1v3 battle. Whoa, Rhyperior, you okay? You don't have the speed stat to be moving like that. What a phony. Can I just say that it's great to have Rhyperior and Rockwrecker in a game where Hyper Beam clones are actually usable. I really am just saying that though, because Rockwrecker isn't in this game. What, you think they'd animate a signature move not on a Hisuian variant or legendary? Hey, we won! I guess you could say our Pokemon was better, haha! Our final test before winning Braviary's trust is to defeat it in battle. You'd think a Psychic type would know that roosting at full health doesn't remove your Flying type. Sure would've helped. We learned the exact same jingle for the 5th time, and we can finally nab the Eternal Ice, just in time for Garrick to climb the summit and make this entire quest pointless. Now, don't try to repeat the wondrous feat you're about to see me perform. No worries there, man. I didn't see anything. Avalug is by far the most difficult noble in the game. Pretty cold comfort considering how atrocious Hisuian Avalug is. The Japanese word for glacier is literally ice mountain, so I guess the developers just couldn't help but give it the worst typing ever. Did I beat this noble in one attempt, or did I black out twice? You'll never know because I can just edit out if I die. YouTubers are terrifying creatures. With every noble quelled, it's time to chow down on some potato mochi and enjoy a good night's rest. Oh no, something's wrong. The sky looks like a middle school graphic design project, and it's all my fault somehow. Turns out Commander Komodo is a major spacist, and so are all of the villagers. After all I did for you. Alright, fair enough. Now exiled to the wilds, we turn to Warden Leon for help. Thanks for nothing, pal. I decide to take a deep breath of the wild and admire the majestic Gyarados in the distance. I've actually been doing some mod work in this game's engine, so look forward to some custom updates soon. Next we turn to Warden Mai, who gives us her best Magic Conch impression.
Oh, Magic Conch Shell, what do we need to do? Nothing.
Great. Luckily, Volo is here to offer a helping hand. How did he know we were here? Maybe he used Find My Arc phone or something. He brings us to our new base of operations, as well as the best waifu of the game. Yes, better than Arezu. Ooh, and it looks like we've got mail. Excuse me, is this how you read a letter? By staring off screen? You couldn't put the paper in our hands or maybe plaster it on screen? Super Mario 64 had a better scene than this, and Peach actually read it to us.
Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
We're now at an impasse. Do we choose Diamond or Pearl? Irida is about as interesting as the blank plate, but I picked Adamant in my first playthrough, so let's see if Pearl truly is the superior experience. Our main mission is to forge the Red Chain, and to do that we'll need the help of the Lake Guardians, 3 fairies who were not given the new fairy type for some reason. In Lake Verity, we salt this slug, then slog through Mespirit's psychic personality quiz. I have no idea if your answers actually matter, but eventually I get Mespirit's plume. That's a plume? I think it looks more like a letter. Oh. Next up is Lake Valor in the Crimson Mirelands. It's right next to the Diamond Settlement, so let's check in on the locals to see how they're handling the grim circumstances. Thanks to the noble Pokemon, we've finally gained some semblance of a normal life here. Excuse me, sir, have you tried looking up recently? Would you call this normal? Yeah, none of the NPCs have different dialogue, but no surprise there. Whatever. Azelf's trial is really straightforward. You pop this pufferfish thing, then toss bombs at Azelf as he tries to goad you into giving up. Believe me, buddy, I've thought about it. The final lake, Lake Acuity, has a trial that pits us against the Hisuian Zoroark. This thing lives in a frozen wasteland, has a signature move that can inflict frostbite, is spooky white, but is a normal ghost type. The only guy who'd agree this thing should be normal is that crazy old diamond geezer. Uxie decides to test our knowledge. I do 6-hour-long Pokemon tier lists, buddy. Your little riddle doesn't scare me. One trip to the Shrouded Ruins later, and we've scored ourselves a fancy new red chain. And would you look at that, it's even animated. Back at Jubilife, it appears Commander Komodo has left to confront the beast of the space-time rift himself. He's not the main character, so he doesn't stand a chance without our help. To Mount Coronet. During our ascent to the summit, we're stopped by Benny? Who it turns out is a ninja, which is very cool. Stick to making mochi, pal. Steps away from the Temple of Sinnoh, it's time to face Chief Spacist himself, Komodo. A character who sumo throws people so hard the screen fades to black, and who eventually gives us the fist plate. So of course, he doesn't use a single fighting type. GG. Let's see what Volo has to say about all this. I know you can buy various sundries at the base camp, but I thought it might be helpful to you if I set up here, closer to the temple. Pretty innocuous, but keep that line in mind. It's finally time to meet Almighty Sinnoh. Psych! It's Palkia, who puts up a bit of a struggle before becoming our, well, Pokeball use of the run. Really made that one count. But what's this? It's Almighty Sinnoh! Just kidding again, it's Dialga! And without a plot device on hand to weaken it, we're forced to flee and come up with a new plan. To craft a mighty Origin Ball. One of the required ingredients is ore. If only. No, we have to get a rock from a nearby cave, but not before we're interrupted by these losers. So, Clover left the Diamond Clan and uses Abomasnow, a Pokemon found in Pearl Clan lands. And Coin left the Pearl Clan and uses Toxicroak, a Pokemon found in Diamond Clan lands. Is this to show that they don't fit with their home clans? Or is this just a goof? Whatever, the one we actually fight is Hisuian Agatha, and it turns out Palkia truly is the master of space, because it completely breaks the strong style animation. What even happened here? Heaps of text boxes later, we're finally armed and ready to take on Dialga, and hopefully, save the world. During our second ascent to the summit, we're again waylaid, this time by Volo. I know you can buy various sundries at the base camp, but I thought it might be helpful to you if I set up here, closer to the temple. I feel like I've heard that before. Whatever. Alright, Dialga, time for you to get in the ball. Wait, no, what are you doing? Why do we make a special plot ball if you're just gonna use a vanilla ultra ball? No! Well, surprise, it didn't work, and it turns out Almighty Sinnoh was actually the Lord of Dance because we get the sickest beats in the game as we Dark Souls Dialga into submission. I don't know if there's even a combat phase to this fight, I've never seen it. It cost us 2 more Pokeballs, but we did it. Both incarnations of Almighty Sinnoh have been made into the playthings of a random 15-year-old child, and the world is safe. We head back to Jubilife, where we're treated to a credit sequence and festival that shows how our actions have left a mark on the lives we touched along the way. Oh, I'm sorry, these are the credits from a 22-year-old N64 game. We of course get a PowerPoint presentation and a PNG of the festival. Come on guys, if you're gonna steal a character from Majora's Mask, steal the credits too! Even Sword and Shield had better credits than this. I know they left a mouse cursor in, but what can I say? Game Freak really loves electric mice. Whatever. So how many Pokeballs does it take to beat Legends Arceus? 14! Is what I would say, but of course, the game's not over, right? You'd think that watching the credits would update the quest, but I guess not. We still have to collect all the plates! The rock plate from the random Vespiquen doesn't require any catching. Neither does the fist plate from the reformed Spacist Commander Commodore. And hey, this time he actually has a fighting type on his team, and one that actually has sumo animations, but, you know, not in this game because Game Freak made it. Most of the plates require catching Pokemon in some capacity. One Pokeball for each of the Lake Guardians gets us the Draco Plate. Catching Heatran earns us both the Iron Plate and this facial expression which people really seem to love for some reason. Catch Cresselia for the Dread Plate, which I'm told makes more sense if you've played one of the Mystery Dungeon games. I don't know. You used to be able to softlock your game here. If you caught Cresselia before talking to he'd never acknowledge your catch, and you'd be unable to advance the story. They've since fixed this, but hey, it shouldn't have been in the game in the first place. It's not wacky or fun, it's just lame. Well, it takes us one Pokeball to catch Regigigas. Regigigas can't catch a break. They really went out of their way just to make sure it still has slow start in a game where battles usually last a single turn. Have some mercy, why don't you? The penultimate plate is given to us by Kogita, and I don't understand this scene. She asks us for 3 logs so she can make a new cutting board. Then she hands us her old cutting board, which happens to be the Pixie Plate! At first I thought she was being coy, like she knew it was the Pixie Plate and she just wanted us to do an errand for her, but it seems like she really didn't realize it was the Pixie Plate. I thought she was this wise ancient Hisuian, why is she suddenly some ditzy fool? Then I thought, oh, maybe it was a joke that got lost in translation between plate and whatever word they used for cutting board. I'm a giga-weeb, so I can just check myself. Except I can't, because unlike almost every other game with multilingual support, you can't change languages from the option menu. You can't even change languages by changing your Switch language. You just can't change languages at all. Why? I had to look up a Japanese Let's Play. So does the scene make any more sense in Japanese? No, it doesn't. Whatever. Well, we're still 1 plate short, but our bestest pal Volo thinks it might be at the now ruined Temple of Sinnoh. It's here, at the Spear Pillar, that a top 1 anime betrayal takes place. Volo is evil? He's so evil he uses 8 Pokemon, but I still think he's less of a cheater than this chick. I lost to him on purpose, no, really, it's not Cope, to see what his victory dialogue was for another video I made, and it's pretty brutal. I'm kidding, of course, it's nothing. You just get reset to before the battle and the middle of his cartoon villain monologue. Whew. How many Pokeballs did it take to collect all the plates and beat the game? 20. But the game's not over, is it? To beat Arceus, you have to at least register every single Pokemon. Good news is that the professor actually gives us the 2 starters we didn't choose, so the only 2 wasted Pokeballs are one from the catching tutorial and one from the cutscene trying to catch the Origin cover legendary. Assuming you catch Pokemon in their base forms and evolve them up, and accounting for branching evolutions, we get a grand total of 122 Pokeballs in order to meet Arceus. Hey, Big A, I did that whole quest you sent me on. Can I go home now? Hello? Hey, can I go home? Hello? Are you gonna address this at all? No? Hello? Whatever. Dear viewer, thanks for watching this challenge video. An extra special thanks to the mighty Patreons who help keep this challenge afloat and making dumb videos like this. If you evolve into a mighty Patreon, you could receive meaningless perks, like the ability to make me read lines like this. Grass-type starters are better than Fire-type starters. Trico is the clear best, beating Charmander by a long shot. The Prince of Egypt is a 1998 American animated musical drama film produced by DreamWorks Animation and released by DreamWorks Pictures. The first feature film by DreamWorks to be traditionally animated. It is an adaptation of the Book of Exodus and follows the life of Moses from being a Prince of Egypt to his ultimate destiny to lead the Jews out of Egypt. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. The FitnessGram TM Pacer Test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues. The 20-meter pacer test will begin in 30 seconds. Line up at the start. The running speed starts slowly, but gets faster each minute after you hear this signal. Wait, what's the signal? Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next upload, whatever that may be. Farewell! Ho ho!